let us bring in Mr. LRF, Pat Pagano,
LRF.
long range forecast.
Um, you're lucky. You're lucky you got your short range forecast this morning, but we'll talk about that in a
All
second.
right. Well, what happened?
Uh,
All right.
it's a partly sunny day today with a dry breeze, and there will be a breeze picking up. High 70 to 75. That should lead to clear, cool weather tonight, back to the 40s. A sunny, beautiful day tomorrow, mid 70s. Partly sunny Thursday, 80. Could be a shower late in the day or at night. It's not a big deal. And then sunny, mid 70s Friday. The weekend could be a touch unsettled with a shower later Saturday and again on Sunday, but 70s throughout from what we could see. So yesterday's warm and humid weather should really not get repeated to that extent. We get a little humid on the weekend, just a little bit, but it should not be as warm as it was yesterday. You must have found yesterday to be very delightful for yourself, right?
Oh, it was like summertime. It was like
Yeah, well, it
summertime.
was.
It was warm and it was even humid.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, some people had thunderstorms, some people had a few showers, but it was not a big deal. That front is now past us. So, it was, what time did you get in this morning, Marshall?
Oh, 4:30, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Why?
It was about 3:30. And I said, I think Marshall's in. Let me call him on the cell. I come into the office. Now, mind you, folks, I was here yesterday afternoon and organizing everything was not a problem. Come into the office, and here, as you know, I use this program, Fences, Marshall.
Yep.
Where you make squares
Yeah.
and then you put your icons in them, and it holds it together so that they don't bounce around all over the place. So I come in, and here on my desktop, in the background, are purple squares with the icons, and forefront are my very pretty blue-green squares with the icons. And they're overlaying one another, so I can't, and I'm clicking on the purple ones, and they're not opening at all. So I had to use the search bar to pull up every forecast
Huh.
and every map that I wanted. It was taking me forever. But I figured, let me get the forecast out. Once I do that, then I could try to solve the problem. Well, this is what we're at right now, Marshall. If you could figure this out over the phone, boy, I would just reach out and give you a big hug. The icons that I want are in the forefront. The icons that I don't want are in the back. How do I get rid of them?
I'd
It's
have to.
double.
Yeah, I have
Puzzle.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I've never seen that. When I'm off the air a little bit later on this morning, I'll call you and we'll see if we can walk through it.
Okay.
But I've never seen where you've got double icons, right?
Double icons.
Have you gone any place else on that computer, like any websites or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
Go to
And I did a restore.
okay, go to a website and see if it happens on the website. If it happens on the website, it's probably your monitor.
Oh no, this is definitely not the monitor.
Okay,
This
all right.
is definitely, it's definitely the Fences program, and all I have to try to do is figure out how I can get rid of one of them because they take a shot every day. Fences automatically
Yeah.
takes a shot of both of your displays, so that if you ever need to restore it, you could go into the program, which is what I did, and I went back to the 21st and restored it on the 21st, which is why right now it's up forefront. But whatever was here before was older in purple, and that's what I'm trying to get rid of.
I'll look into it and I'll see what I can find. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Aside from that, let's do the long range winter forecast,
I think we
right?
should do. I think we should do the long range weather
Good
forecast
forecast.
because it kind of surprised me when I saw it.
Surprised you that it was not as bad or was worse?
Actually, it it it's a little worse than I thought because for the first time in I'll say 2 years, the word snow is more prevalent through the forecast. I'm not saying heavy snow, but I'm
Right.
saying the word snow And when you combine the word snow with winter storm and snowstorm, it's peppered right throughout the whole forecast.
Yeah, and we start with January because
Yeah.
the fall covered December. But in January, the first few days, we're looking for some rain or snow showers. So there should not be too much of a problem for New Year's. The first full week, some snow, then fair and cold. I didn't say heavy snow, it's
Yeah.
just some. Second week, um, snow, some ice, then wet and milder. The third week, icy cold and moderating with rain and/or snow. And the last week, bone chilling cold. February, first week, snow showers followed by a snowstorm. Second week, more snow and cold, but then moderating and windy. Your third week, partly cloudy and cold. The last week, fair and cold, a chance of a light wintry mix.
February
Oh,
doesn't look good.
right, March, early rain and cold with a late wintry mix. Second week, some rain, then a larger winter storm late. Third week, winter storm may change to rain. And the fourth week, partly cloudy seasonable. My summary, intensifying cold for late January into mid-February. Cold spells will follow into mid-March. Storms will be plenty, most of which will bring snow or a wintry mix. New Year's Day, some rain or snow showers. Martin Luther King weekend, icy cold. Valentine's Day, windy and chilly. President's Day weekend, fair and cold. St. Patrick's Day, stormy. Spring arrives, according to the calendar, March 19th. According to our weather, Memorial Day.
Well, there you go.
That's my outlook. At least I got that done. And now I'll tell you quickly how the weekend went. Marshall, I get there Saturday. I go tearing to the studio to try to get this set prepared, this garden room set for 3 o'clock. I get there at 12. And it's warm Saturday. And there's no AC in the studio, folks. So yours truly is sweating. I got it ready. That seam was pulled off very nicely. A lot of tricks to that with chopping off hands and, fake and stuff like that. Saturday night, we're shooting outside. And it was cold, much colder than I thought. It was clear up there, and you probably remember this, but it started dropping into the 50s because it was clear. I'm in shorts and a T-shirt until 10:30 at night. When I got back into the cabin, I was freezing. But anyhow, there were tricks in that too, so that we had to film. We did it. Now we're worrying about Mr. Gary Garrison, who called in Friday afternoon to tell me that he was at the doctor's office with strep throat. They gave him the Z-Pack. He told me he felt terrible and that he may not be able to make his shoot on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
What are we going to do? It's a huge scene. 30 people showing up for this scene. He's in it. We don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do it. Well, we got a call Saturday evening that he was feeling much better and that he would see us Sunday. Thank the Lord. We did our shoots Sunday. Sunday night, went to dinner. Came home, coming through the garage, opening up the garage door. It's 10:30 at night. I step into a flood. I look above me, and there's the ceiling, and the skin of the plasterboards are dripping down with water. I just shook my head. I said, oh my goodness, where's it coming from? And I know the bathroom's above it. I'm saying this is really hot stuff. So I went up there. I didn't see a trace of water in the bathroom. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to call a plumber at, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Forget it. He'll charge me an arm and a leg.
Right.
So I mop it all up and put pails all over the place. During the night, I'm getting up. I'm emptying it. The new guy or company that showed up for the walkway at 8 o'clock yesterday morning, we asked him if he knew a plumber, and he does plumbing. He came in and looked at it. He cut that plaster down from the ceiling, found where the leak was. It was upstairs in the bathtub. Took him till 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon to get that all fixed. And I have to tell you, in that short time between, let's say, 4 o'clock and 5:30, him and his men picked up the entire walkway that had been laid down prior to the guy that messed it all up. So it's completely up, and today they're going to start putting down all the bluestone. And he showed us exactly what was wrong. The mortar was wrong. The cement was wrong. Everything was wrong. He said, if we didn't correct it now, we would have had to correct it next spring. He said, because after the winter, he said, because of the mortar, all of the stones would have come up and buckled. So do you think I had a nice weekend?
So you had to pay for it twice then?
Twice.
That was the first one. Was that the guy? Was that the guy who cut his finger off? The first one.
Cut his finger off. Oh yeah, broke his finger, sprained his back. The first guy, that was 10 grand. 10 grand, never finished the job. And now this guy's coming and giving us a break, 6,500.
Well, you know, yeah,
Marshall,
that's a lot.
At $16,500, I should put in an electric, one of those electric walkways where you get there at the front, you press the button, and it brings you up automatically.
That's what I was going to say. That $16,000 could buy you a real nice cruise on the Queen Mary to England.
That $16,000 will get me a brand new computer here, so I don't have to go through this trouble.
That's exactly right. Wow, that's just, and you have no recourse with the first guy.
First guy, he's data now.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Raising a 14-year-old boy, you know,
yeah.
His wife died 10 years ago. Forget it.
The joys of homeownership.
Thank you. So it was a lovely weekend. I'm glad. I'm at least at this point, Marshall. If my IT guy doesn't call me, I'll give you a buzz. What time?
Yeah, I'll be at the station. I'm not feeling that great today. I'll probably leave a little early. So if you don't get me at the station, you can get me at home. But if
you're not feeling great, I'm not going to bother you.
Well, no. It's. I think I'm just getting a cold. That's all. So what I'll do is I'll buzz you and let you know when I'm home.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Pat. Take care.
Bye, Marshall.
That is Pat Pagano in the Weather Center this morning with the long-range forecast and his problems.